people.
Maybe you should just pass them.
Mona, it is time for a beer.
Oh, thanks, Teal. Sorry, folks, I didn't mean to pass out on y'all.
Oh, look at that lightning!
There's more lightning down here in New Mexico than anywhere in BC.
Oh, you didn't tell me that, honey.
You know, every year somebody gets killed out on Elephant Butte Reservoir. Of course, you're out on that big expanse of water holding that graphite fishing rod, and you might as well be holding a lightning rod.
Well, that's great. That's wonderful.
You know, one time on my home lake, these two guys got caught out in a storm. One guy was wearing a life jacket, and the other guy was sitting on a cushion. They got struck by lightning. The guy in the life jacket, he was killed. The other guy, he was castrated, but he lived through it.
Oh, jeez!
Yeah, after a couple of years, his wife divorced him, said he was just like a vegetable.
Well, of course.
Well, of course, what?
Well, it burst his balls right open.
Oh, we get the picture!
You know, if the back of your neck starts to tingle, or the hair on your arm starts to stand up, watch out, lightning's coming. Oh, God, darling, can you roll your window down up there? I think something just died.
Of course, Ramon, I'd be more than happy to roll my window down for you.
Oh, Lord, Lord. Back in old New Mexico. You know, the only state in the Union where you can still catch the plague.
What plague?
What plague? I don't know what plague. The plague.
How do you catch it?
I don't know how you catch the plague. How do you die in a plane crash?
What did she say?
So, Ramona, Teal tells me you're from New Mexico.
Yep, lived up near Taos. Oh, those were grand times. My husband went schizophrenic on me. He tried to murder me.
Really?
I told him he was insensitive. I guess he didn't like it.
Wait, that's why he tried to murder you? Because you told him he was insensitive?
Well, I guess he'd heard it before from his other wives.
Well, when did you see him last?
Been a year at least. I expect I'll hear from him one of these days.
Look at this bozo behind us. Tailgating us with his high beams on. Why doesn't he just pass us?
You know, Hank, I came to New Mexico 20 years ago for 1 week, and I've wanted to come back here ever since. It's odd the forces that pull us in certain directions, don't you think? Silly, really, why I'd feel such a pull to come here.
There's something I'll never understand.
What's that, Hank?
How a fish will keep coming back and biting the same bait 2, 3, 4 times till his mouth's all tore up and bleeding and ripped plumb to shreds.
So, Ramona, I've been meaning to ask you, have you had a chance to try out that new product, Catch and Release, yet?
Talmadge.
Can't say as I have.
Well, you see, when a fish is injured and it loses its scales, it has a gland and it excretes this mucus coating. It soothes the fish. It acts like a natural tranquilizer. Now, the Catch and Release, it simulates that gland, helps you bring your fish back alive.
Well, anything that stimulates a gland can't be all that bad. Honey, this one's for you. It might lift your spirits some. After Adam and Eve made love for the first time, Eve went down to the ocean to wash herself. God looked down, got all upset, flailed his arms, and he wrung his hands, and he said, "Oh no, how am I going to get the smell out of that fish?"
Whew, that's a good one, Ramona. I like that one.
Honey, if I told that one, you'd been on me like flypaper.
Doubtful. I don't get it.
Teal!
Anyway, Ramona, I don't know if Evelyn told you this, but I work for Byrobi. We're an exciting new company with great new products like the Catch and Release. And we were wondering if you might like to pose for an advertisement for us for the Bass and Gal magazine.
I'll think about it. I hear you're not fishing the Classic this year, Teal.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just along to keep everyone company. You know, introduce y'all. Help out with the driving.
Well, what's Talmadge doing?
Oh, Talmadge got in the car at the last second, just as we were pulling out of the driveway. That's why your door's all banged up. Talmadge flung it into a tree, piling in.
Huh. Oh, did you keep your window roll down there, honey? I think whatever it was just died is going through some more of that bad stress.
Driving at night can be so hypnotic, don't you think? As if the road were driving us. Funny fate. Perfect strangers sharing a journey. Perhaps the 3 most important hours of our lives? What is it that's pulling us towards it, beyond the headlights out there? Some remnant of our past? Some piece of ourselves?
You're starting to sound just like that old boy from the Twilight Zone.
Oh, I know, I probably sound ridiculous, but it's always seemed curious to me what it is that makes people choose the disastrous courses they do. I mean, look at me right now. What made me ask you for a ride at the airport? You could be a mass murderer for all I know. You know, it's odd how you can share secrets with a perfect stranger, telling stories you've never told anyone else, knowing you'll never see that person again. I feel very close to you right now. Ask me something personal. I'll tell you anything. Oh, go ahead. Let me give you something of value, something intimate.
Oh, I don't know, ma'am.
Oh, come on. You'll be doing me a kindness.
Intimate? Like physical?
I know what I'll tell you. Oh, I've never told this to anybody before. I can't believe I'm telling you this. When I was 12, my Aunt Claire took it upon herself to inform me of the facts of life. Well, she began the conversation by telling me about her heart murmur. Well, somehow I got it all screwed up, and for the longest time, I thought that an orgasm was something that happened in your heart. Well, isn't that a remarkable idea? Well, you can imagine how confused I was later on. Kind of poetic, don't you think? An involuntary stirring of the heart. Well, there. Now you know something about me that nobody else knows. So? Well, what do you think?
About what?
My story about my aunt.
I don't.
My, the sky certainly is enormous out there, isn't it?
Well, what am I supposed to feel?
You aren't supposed to feel anything. I just thought you might have a response, and if you did, you might want to share it with me.
You know, ma'am, might it could be you should just be a little more careful about how you select your adventures.
What do you mean?
Jumping into an old truck with a total stranger. Now, it could be someday you're going to jump into the wrong truck.
Do you think we could stop at this diner up here? My husband is expecting me to call him.
You said he weren't.
I beg your pardon?
You said he weren't.
Look, I'm beginning to feel very uncomfortable.
Would you roll your window down, ma'am?
You stop the car right now.
You roll your window down now.
But you're speeding up.
I just want to pass this car.
Oh, God, don't shoot!
Hold still now.
Ow! What happened?
I don't know, something hit me. Ow, it hurt.
What was it?
Oh, a rock.
Oh, do you want to pull over?
Was that an old pickup that just passed us?
Do you want to pull over?
Evelyn, I knew I didn't want you coming out here. I knew it.
Pull over. We will get the first aid.
Evelyn, you've got to promise me, while we're in New Mexico, you're going to be very careful. Promise me.
I promise.